Warning: the following content contains language that may be inappropriate for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Hey, what's up? This is Phil Demmel. You're tuned in to Let's Get Heavy, where the riffs are loud and nothing gets held back. So let's get heavy.
Welcome you guys to the Let's Get Heavy podcast, where we like to highlight bands and just try and spread a little bit of positivity throughout the world of metal. It's nice to meet you guys, and nice to just give some of your free time to chat with us here on the podcast. So, for those who do not know, we're currently chatting with the Overthrone. Is that correct, guys?
That's right.
That is correct.
That's right.
And
Thank you for
joining
having
us is Gustav and William. So this is pretty new because I have only discovered the band a couple of weeks ago when we played the Cycles, I believe it is, on stream. Our good friend Psychotech introduced me to the band, and I fell in love with it straight away. And it was voted track of the week as well that very night because it was an absolute
Thanks for that, guys.
Thank you.
banger, absolute banger. But for those who do not know the band, especially for myself, who is vocals? Well, basically, what is your roles within the band?
Should I start?
Go for it.
Gust.
Yeah. So I'm Gustav. I've been the vocalist for the band since 2022.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and
William.
I'm William. I play guitar and I sing the lead melody parts, like the clean vocals. And I've been a part of the band basically since we started, even before we were officially the Overthrone,
Nice.
together with the drummer and the guitarist.
So who is missing? Which members are missing?
We're missing Jona, who is or Jonah rather in English, who is the other guitarist, also one of the founding members. Oscar, who is the drummer, who I believe was chatting, or the main chatter during that night that you hosted us on your stream, and Love. There's no good pronunciation in English, so it's spelled love, but it's pronounced Love in Swedish. He's the bassist and the brother of Oscar.
Nice.
I think that was actually me for once. Oscar's usually the one hanging around the Twitch stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I was the one but I think several of us actually were. So
Yeah.
but yeah, great stream. Thanks again,
Well,
guys, for voting for Cycles
Yeah, it
track
was
of the
great.
week.
Mate,
Much appreciated.
they know they've got an ear for talent, and at the end of the day, you guys absolutely killed it. So, how would you describe what you do and what your where you sound sits within the Swedish melodic death metal?
I think we put sort of our own stamp on it. We're definitely we definitely in our music there's a nod to that Swedish melodeath tradition, especially the Gothenburg sound, even though we're from Stockholm, so blasphemy from us. But I think we sort of put our own modern touch on it with down-tuned riffs and, maybe I wouldn't say more aggressive vocals, but vocals maybe derived from, I take a lot of inspiration from sort of Lamb of God and the more modern early 2000s groove metal scene. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Gustav, you've been a part of the band since 2022, is that correct? Has the band been going actually longer than this?
Yep.
Yeah.
I started in 2022 when the band was supposed to go on tour for the first European tour. Unfortunately, the then singer Ernst, he was dealing with some health issues, so I jumped in as a stand-in originally, and then when he was unable to rejoin the band, I was fortunate enough to be asked to stay.
Nice. So, say in 2018 with the Plague, then Bloodmoon, is that correct?
That's right.
Is that going in? So,
Yeah.
looking back, what were the key moments that shaped the Overthrone that from then to now?
Oh, that's a very good question. I mean, it depends on what you mean by shape. Do you mean like the sound, or is it more like the
maybe
band?
it's more of how has the band evolved, if you will?
Right. Well, I mean, hopefully we've evolved in a right direction, that we're, releasing better music. But I'd say, like, as anybody, you mature over time, and it feels like our music has a lot more structure and is a lot more thought out nowadays than maybe it was in the beginning. In the beginning, it was very much which is very charming. Like, I still really like all of our old songs, but it was pretty unthought out and kind of wild and crazy, and just tried a bunch of different stuff. And I think over time we sort of find more of our own sound and what we actually want to sound like. In the beginning, it felt like we were kind of just copying what we really liked to listen at the time, but just put our own spin. But now it feels like we've kind of found our essence and our core sounds. So it feels
And
like
who would be the key influences in for the early days of this band?
for the early days, or like early days, then it was like for me at least, the kind of pop metal bands such as like Disturbed, Avenged Sevenfold. I used to like Five Finger Death Punch quite a bit, and a little bit of Lamb of God, but like those were pretty much the not Four Horsemen, but the three.
You're not so much of a Five Finger Death Punch fan now anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Any particular reason why?
I don't know.
No shame here. If you like Five Finger Death,
yeah, no. I mean, I've nothing against the band or for itself. It's just that, like, music tastes like evolves, and it doesn't quite resonate with me the way it used to before. So at least for me, but I know for Oscar and for Jonah, they were more influenced by, say, like In Flames, a little bit heavier stuff. I think they were pretty much the ones who introduced me into like harsh vocals in general. I remember that Jonah showed me Silosis, if you know about them. Yeah. He introduced me to Conclusion of an Age when we were like 15 or 16 or something. And I thought, like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then from there, it's just been spiraling down into the pit of like harder and heavier and faster music. So in the beginning, we were more pop. Now we're kind of, narrowing down.
I feel you, because I was in that new metal era growing up personally.
Oh, yeah?
Linkin Park,
Biscuit.
Me too, man.
Some Disturbed as well, but then everything changed. Then everything changed when I discovered Nemec. If you ever heard of Nemec, Danish band, I believe it is.
No.
Nemec, and then from there it went into Soilwork, In Flames, and the rest is history for me. When it went,
right?
You know what I mean? Scar Symmetry and stuff like that.
Oh, Scar Symmetry. Those are.
Yeah,
I used to listen lots of Scar Symmetry back in the day. But I think as Swedes, just on principle, we don't listen to Danish bands, so that's probably why we don't know them.
I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that.
It's a joke. It's a joke for God.
Yeah. Good banner. That's what I like.
Yeah.
But Stockholm does have a very serious legacy in the heavy music scene. How has being part of that environment influenced your sound and your mindset?
Yes, the Stockholm scene obviously very, very influential and a big part of the metal scene as a whole. I never really got into the Stockholm-based bands like Entombed and stuff like that. I can appreciate what they've done for the community and for the scene as a whole. They're obviously legends. I remember my first show for my previous band was at a pub in Stockholm, and LG Petrov was actually there just by coincidence. So I immediately rushed to him after that show and I think I was like 19 years old or whatever I was, and I was like, LG, what did you think of that? What do you did you like it? And he was like, that was fucking awesome, man. He was drunk, I was drunk. We hugged it out. I still have the picture, so I have a lot of respect for them. But I'd be lying if I said that they've influenced me personally. So yeah,
Yeah.
because I never really got into that. Just never really happened.
Yeah, I'd say probably a little bit the same. It also have like huge respect and like the legacy they hold is incredible. But I guess like Bloodbath is maybe the band that has maybe resonated with me the most, which was introduced to me by the drummer Oscar, who is more traditionally like the Stockholm death metal scene. I think is more his influence. He used to be in another band, a local band, I guess Stockholm-based band called Catacomba, who is based in Stockholm. Very great band. Who used to share. We went to the same school and have kind of grown up together. But I don't know. I don't think for anybody it was really very much like the Stockholm sound that was resonating with us, which makes us seem like huge imposters.
So, sorry, I'm jumping a little bit back, but when you said that,
Yeah.
was it Entombed that you said, Gustav,
Yeah.
wasn't really your thing. So who were your kind of influences then from a vocal standpoint?
From a vocal standpoint, well, when I got into when I realized when I was like 15 or 16, whatever I was, that I wanted to be in a band and I wanted to be able to do those kind of harsh vocals, I learned how to do it by putting on Slipknot and Lamb of God while I was showering on my phone, and then just trying to emulate. I had to do it in the shower because I couldn't do it otherwise. Sort of like disconnected me from the fact that I was trying to impersonate them. But eventually something just clicked, and like a year later, I started my first band, and then I just started doing shows, starting, practicing a lot more. But it all like originally my influences, probably the three biggest influences for me, I'd say, were early Corey Taylor, Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, who lyrically is a huge inspiration as well, and probably a bit of Phil Anselmo in there. And I'd like to throw in Lynn Straight from the band Snot as well, which I listened a lot to growing up. Sort of a hidden gem, and he unfortunately passed away years ago. But yeah, great vocalist.
Yeah. Going back to the new metal era of Snot,
Yeah.
they were classic.
That was sort of my thing growing up, the new metal stuff.
Yeah.
So you blend of down-tuned riffs, aggressive vocals, groove, and melody. It feels very obviously, of course, deliberate. How did that hybrid of melodeath, modern thrash, and groove metal become your signature sound?
I think the band seems to have been in like a constant state of metamorphosis because on the Plague EP they had a different lineup than what they had on the Bloodmoon CD, and then the pandemic hit and stuff just changed. Eventually, I ended up being the vocalist. So with different band members and different influences, come different styles. So you can go to the EP, the Plague EP, and discover, like, realize that there's a different sound there than it is on the Bloodmoon CD because there's a different lineup, and so I think now that we've finally sort of landed in what has become the lineup for the band, so far at least, I think now that we're writing new music and we've eventually come to like the sound that we want.
Yeah. I think so
At least
too.
for the moment.
I think like the evolution of our sound has been so much based on what we've been listening to, and it's kind of just manifested into how it sounds, and what music we've been writing. But it feels like now that we've found our lineup and we've all had this kind of common vision of what we want the band to sound like, it feels like obviously like influences are always there, and like it's impossible not to get influenced into write a riff that you're like, oh, you stole that from from Arnold in Flames or stuff like that.
Do you get that a lot by any chance?
Yeah. They call me William the Ripper because I like when I write riffs, I don't think about where like I'm taking the inspiration. It just comes like through my fingers, and then they have like a counter of like the amount of riffs that I've written. That's oh, dude, that's like Silosis from this obscure little part here, and I realize like, oh shit, I just stole it. So then I need to rewrite it and refactor the whole thing, and it's a mess.
I
Our
mean,
demos are just covers.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all got what inspirations, mate. So if it sounds like that, there's nothing wrong with it at the end of the day. But for you both, what has changed the most in your writing or your production approach between Blood Moon and your latest EP release? And correct us if I'm not pronouncing the EP, Reclamation. Is that right?
That's right.
So what has changed the most between your writing and your production approach between Blood Moon and this EP?
I think writing, we felt like we wanted to have a more solid foundation for the songs and wanted them to sound more similar. I think one of our main lessons learned from Blood Moon was that we were experimenting a lot. So there's a lot of songs that sound very different from each other, and we wanted kind of to tone that down a little bit and make it sound a little bit more concise and with each other. And we also felt like the production we wanted to be more modern while still maintaining this kind of raw, almost old school feeling that Blood Moon had, but just having like a blend of the two. But I think most of all, I think is due to Gustav joining the band and us wanting to include him in the core writing process, because usually it's mostly been like me, Jonah, and Oscar who has been writing the music. We felt like having, due to like member switches and stuff, then to have Gustav be part of the writing process was, I think, a huge change for how it sounded and like our approach, and integrating that more not as like an afterthought, but rather a forethought into how it's supposed to sound.
Anything you want to touch on there, Gustav? Or?
I thought it was an interesting challenge to start to write for the band when I eventually became the permanent new singer, because I started because I listened, going on tour with the band, I obviously listened a lot to the old material, and I tried to get a sense, first I tried to get a sense of what the band's themes and sort of writing style had been previously, and eventually I started adding my own sort of spin onto it. And I think I might have a different approach to sort of rhythm and melody than maybe what the other ones who used to write vocal. I don't know if Ernst was the one who wrote the vocals for the previous CD, but I think I might have a different approach to the melodies and just the rhythm of it all and the way I write lyrics. So that eventually ended up making the CP sound pretty different from the other ones.
What was it? Sorry, go on, William.
No, I just want to add one of the things that I really like about Gustav's writing with his vocals is that you can really feel the very new metal influences and almost the like rap influences, like with like some verses and some vocal parts are quite lyrically heavy and quite fast, which I find super cool because I would have never written anything like that. So to have it presented like, holy shit, that's such a cool way of writing this verse. I think it's cycles if it's not in the first verse where it's I think the second part of the first verse where you're almost rapping. It's like, this is so cool. Like
that was, interestingly enough, it's fun that you point out that part of the song, because that part is actually just a copy paste almost. It's a bit tweaked, but it's a copy paste of a lyric I wrote back when I was in a rap metal band when I
Mhm.
was like 18 years old. That never got recorded or anything, but that specific line has always stuck with me, so I had to insert it somewhere. Funny you should point that out because that was
Yeah.
actually a rap metal song lyric
Yeah, no, I
that
think it's
ended up
great.
in cycles.
I think it's great because it's so different and so interesting to like see how other people when you're so used to writing like vocals, because I used to write a lot of the vocals, not all of them. Ange did a lot of vocal work, but like my approach to harsh vocals is so different. And I would never write such a like rap part, but then to hear it and have it presented it was so cool. It was
But you
Geez.
wrote the chorus for Reclamation, which is kind of rappy.
yeah, I guess a little bit, but it's still it's not as fast. It's not as
Uh,
new metal as Cycles, which
Maybe
I
not.
Could that be
Tangents, sorry.
something? Could oh, no? Hey, I like it. I like it. Could that be something that you might introduce more in future releases?
I mean I want to. I think it's like
I,
I want in general our sound to be more groovy and like I think for the coming material, I would very much. I've been trying to envision how this would sound and how it would feel live, uh,
Mm.
as opposed to just how it sounds in a studio recording. So like think more like, okay, how would this part resonate with the crowd? Are they gonna bounce? Are they gonna headbang? Are they gonna do a mosh pit or like have more of that approach? And I think like rap and groove are always like a two peas in a pod. So I think it's inevitable to for it to have a little bit more new metal influence, which I
Would you go for the scratching on the turntable style in there? Would you? Or is
that
that
might
or is
be
that
pushing
going
it a bit too far.
is that going too much?
That being said, I love Slipknot, but not. I'm not sure if that's right for this band. But hey, I never say never. In
we
regards to
could
art.
we could go
So
full Artspire and go the
Get it done. Hey, just try it once. You never know. You
yeah,
could
yeah.
just
you never
discover
know.
something. You just never know. You just never know.
But I think William actually brought up something very interesting there. Sorry if you want to continue, but just a small tangent because when I write songs, I'd never go, oh, I'm going to write a rap lyric here, or I'm going to write so and so here. However, the whole how would the audience respond to this part or this part?
Hmm.
That's a very, very essential part of my at least when it comes to the grooves and the melodies that I write. Maybe not so much lyrically, but that's a very, very essential part of my songwriting
Yeah.
process. So
And as Williams touched on as well, you want to how are these going to work in a live setting as well?
yeah,
Because
exactly.
if you were to add those scratch and turntable styles in there, how would you play them? Do you know what I mean? You would
Yeah.
have to hire an actual DJ,
Would have
or
to
you
call
just
Sid from Slipknot or something.
or you're just gonna do the fallen in reverse style and just use a space bar on your laptop.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. No,
So
it's a
I would
different
imagine
approach.
you'll want to be authentic and try and actually have the actual sounds coming from your instruments, as
Yeah,
opposed to using like any sound bites or anything. Or
yeah.
that makes
We
sense.
do our best to we do use like
Samples.
yeah, samples and click tracks and what we to make it sound tighter, and
Mm.
we try most of the time just to fill out uh, like the parts that we wish we could afford somebody to play. Uh, so like if there's like a guitar part that is with double lead, then we try to just keep the guitar, like the rhythm guitar in the background. So then Jonah and I can go in front of the stage and play the lead together. Um, so we try to keep it as authentic as possible, but like it's a modern era. Like if we have the tools and we can make it sound good and sound better, then we try to roll with the punches and make it sound sound as good as possible as well.
Nice. And it's now time to be honest, especially for anyone who knows the band. But are there
Hmm.
any non-metal influences that sneak their way into your sound in ways fans might not expect?
Oh yeah.
Time you got.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got at least an hour and a half.
Well, I'll start. For me personally, I grew up with a lot of my dad introduced me. He introduced me to a lot of metal stuff like Black Sabbath and stuff like that, which has always been a big inspiration. But there was always a lot of, Johnny Cash and Tom Waits and stuff when I was growing up. So Johnny Cash in particular, I think he had a certain way with words on stage in how he communicated with the audience and what he said to the audience to make them connect to him. And that's something I've always tried to incorporate into my own performances. So lyrically, maybe he's not maybe that much of a lyrical influence to me, but on stage, there's a certain hint of those old school country artists in how genuine they are when they approach and talk to the crowd. And Tom Waits is probably my favorite artist of all time, and he's completely fearless in his writing, and that's something I aspire to be as well. I try to never shy away from being weird in my songwriting, and that's definitely something I got from him. So
I'm not gonna lie, like I do love a little bit of country. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie, I do love a bit of country.
I grew up with it. I love it.
Anything in particular for yourself, and well, any non-metal influences?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love games. I am studying game design and game production, so
really?
I am super into different composers and a lot of video game soundtracks and film soundtracks is a huge influence. Right now, I think I've been listening to. I'm gonna completely butcher his name because he's French. Lorien Testard, who made the soundtrack for Expedition 33.
Soundtrack.
It's so good, and I've just been consuming it all day. So I think both me and the other guitarist Jonah really like that type of music. So that usually slips into like choruses and different parts of the song that require a little bit more oomph and a little bit like some etheric spice to it to make it sound like a little bit more open and beautiful. I think it usually slips in. Funnily enough, the whole concept for the EP was originally to base everything on like classical 80s movies. So like Bug Hunt is obviously Alien, and the Ascending was its work in progress name was Treminator, which is basically a Terminator but with like tremolo picking. And
I love it.
we had a song called Outpost 31, and we had it's a lot of nerdery with like
Interesting.
80s movies.
Interesting, like how where the game side comes of anyway, and of course every metalhead loves the Doom soundtrack, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to love a Doom soundtrack. And
Yeah.
for myself, a Devil May Cry. If you
Oh, hell yeah!
that was an absolute fantastic.
That's a good soundtrack.
Bury the Light is still in my in my rotation on Spotify.
Nice.
Been for years. It's a great working out song to work out to and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Gets you pumped.
So as we touched on briefly at the beginning, Cycles was voted our Get Heavy TV track of the week. Live on stream, I believe some of you guys were there. What was the reaction seeing the community push it to the top?
Anytime someone enjoys my music, or our music, I should say, it's I don't know why, because I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's just always such a nice surprise because I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with like imposter syndrome or whatever, but I'm always so happy to see people enjoy my music and or our music, and same here. Just the positive response we received from the EP and in your chat and from your audience. We're so grateful and so happy that our music can affect people in that type of way. And thank you guys again for voting that song of the week. We really appreciate it, and
Not a problem whatsoever.
very very happy to see that you enjoy our music. Thank you.
I'm glad he's come. I'm glad he's came along. Because if you didn't come along, we might not have had this chat right now. So absolutely grateful for you to come along and hanging out with us. And I couldn't thank you enough for that. But what's the story behind? What's the story behind Cycles, musically, lyrically, or even emotionally?
I'd say lyrically, Cycles kind of. The thing I was going for lyrically with Cycles was a cycle of tyrants rise and then they fall, historians sort out the pieces, and then we sort of end up in the same spot. So and just how civilizations rise and fall, you go back to the Roman Empire or the Mongols or whatever it may be, humanity sort of seems to always rise and then collapse upon itself, and that's sort of thematically what I was going for. And then it sort of ended up being kind of like a rap song, which like we touched on, which I didn't really plan for, but eventually, we got there and it happened. And I'm very happy with it. It's one of my favorite songs on the EP.
Happy accidents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on that, William?
I mean, not a lot. I didn't write the lyrics for Cycles. I think initially I had a lyric for it, like when it was work in progress. Because like I'm pretty bad at writing lyrics. Usually since I love stories and like mythos and like fantasy, so usually my texts are just about I don't know, cool demons and I don't know, stories, and more of like I'd say like maybe an old trivium approach of writing lyrics. So I think it was basically about Lovecraft and Cthulhu, if I don't misremember. And I also wrote the initial lyrics for Reclamation, which was just about Elden Ring. And then Gustav was like, dude, you gotta stop writing writing these types of lyrics. So then he pretty much rewrote those parts. But some of the parts still are left.
What's wrong, Gustav? Not like Elden Ring?
Yeah, I love Elden Ring. I love it. It's just I think we can do better than tribute pieces. No, I'm kidding. No, I love Elden Ring. It's one of my favorite games of all time, actually.
Nice.
But I agree. I think it gets the song a completely different vibe and approach and feeling to it when there's actual substance behind the lyrics. Yeah, I'd say it's been great with your edition.
So the track
I try also.
Oh, go on. Sorry, my apologies.
Sorry. I just to touch one last thing regarding that is I also try to keep the lyrics open to interpretation. And I'm very much for the audience or the listener making their own interpretation of the lyrics as well. So I try not to be too defined in what I'm aiming for or too definite, or I'm losing track of which words to use. But yeah.
So lyric-wise, nothing from Elden Ring though. Lyric-wise,
no.
I think some of it
so far.
Some of it I think snuck through the cracks in Reclamation.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think there are some lines that got to stay.
So, but Cycles, the track, it has this relentless, urgent energy. Was that intentional from the start, or did it evolve naturally during the writing and recording without Elden Ring?
Good question. When you mean urgent, what do you mean by that?
So like quick, fast, like wants to kind of
Mm.
get aggressive straight away. Does that make sense?
Oh, right. I think I don't know. We wanted kind of like a fast song, and we were just experimenting like with a bunch of riffs, and we wanted to have like a pretty fast flow. Um, yeah, I don't know. We felt like a lot of the times we either write super fast songs or we write really slow songs. So we want like a little a middle ground. But then I think we kind of thought like, this is a little bit too slow. Let's pick up the pace, and then we just uh, move more towards the fast approach.
Hmm.
But I think we try to combine it. So that's why like we have this. After the second chorus, there's the whole breakdown part, and we wanted to keep it like a little bit of the slowness that we initially had thought from the song. But I think basically we got a little bit bored that it was so slow in the beginning, so we wanted to kind of pick up the pace.
Uh, why do you think Cycles connected so strongly with listeners compared to maybe other material that is released?
I don't know, probably the rap part.
I think Cycles. Maybe. I think Cycles has. It's a very. Out of all the songs on the EP, I think Cycles is the one that stands out the most because it has sort of these different parts for a lot of people to enjoy. So there is that sort of groovy, almost rappy part in the verses, and then the chorus is uh, sort of a mix between harsh vocals and clean vocals. I try to go for, and it's sort of melodic but still sort of aggressive. And then there's the after the solo, and then there's the fucking riff that go da 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 da. So it has a headbanging part, and then after the solo, this sort of in flames dual guitar parts comes on, and it sort
That's
of
probably
builds into this like finale that. And sort of builds and builds and builds, and all of these different parts come together at the end. So I think it has a little something for everyone.
Yeah, I think probably we internally we call it the In Flames part, which is like after the solo. I think the In Flames part is pretty much one of my favorite parts of the entire EP. I would say. Initially, we were a little bit skeptical to it because it sounded quite empty. But then Gustav added the vocals, and it just kind of it changed the entire part. So it turned out from being one of my like kill your darlings moment. I really want like I don't think we should have this part. But then once the vocals came in and we started adding layers, and it just kind of bloomed into what is now my favorite part, I think.
So we've got 5 songs on this EP. We've got Black and Sea, Reclamation, Bred to Exterminate, Cycles, and Ascending. What made you choose Cycles to be the first single to be released from this EP?
Um, I it wasn't. I think "Bred to Exterminate" was the first single.
Was Bred to Exterminate was the
Yeah,
first one?
Yeah.
Cycles was the third one, I think. So,
Yeah. I don't
but
remember
yeah,
the order.
yeah. So sorry, but no, but I don't think the planning of this EP, if I'm gonna be honest, like more thought should have gotten into this sort of build up to the EP because it was a very like sort of long release. And Bred to Exterminate came out way before the EP actually came out, and that comes out down to a lot of different factors. But mostly, I think the order of the songs that we released them in, it's not really. I don't think a lot of thought really went into it. I think we sort of felt like this song is ready. It's a good song. Let's release it. And Bred to Exterminate and Reclamation both had music videos to them as well that we had shot. So those were also ready to go. So we put them out before. And then Cycles got finished. And so we released that. And Ascending was sort of the final song on the EP. So we didn't want to release that as a single.
Will you just release that maybe just later on down the line as a single as well?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Just it seems to be the way things seem to go these
Yeah.
days. You know, we'll release them as singles.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm a fan of the EP format, which is what you've done. Release 4 or 5 guaranteed bangers instead of you've got no filler. Do you know what I mean? Maybe release another EP as well, and then you can probably merge those 2 EPs into a full album if you wanted.
Yeah,
we actually discussed that very idea, and I wouldn't exclude it at all. But a lot of these songs were like demos that we had lying around, and we knew after I joined the band, we sort of went through this new phase for the band where we discussed. We knew we wanted to release new music, and some of these songs were the demos were ready for them, and so we had sort of like 10 songs that we knew we wanted to put that, and we knew we wanted to put out some of them. So these are the 5 songs out of those sort of 10 demos that we felt like these songs are good enough, and so we eventually recorded them properly, and it turned out to. Or it eventually became the EP, because first we discussed putting out a full lengther, but we hadn't released any music since Bloodmoon, so we knew we had to put it out like sort of quick, and it takes a whole lot. It doesn't take as much time to record it and put out an EP as it does an album. So.
So it's Reclamation is obviously, you've just touched on. It's your first multi-track release since Bloodmoon. What does this EP represent for you creatively and even personally?
I think like the title Reclamation, even though it started out as an Elden Ring song, is kind of defining in, I guess, like our reclamation of music and writing and like songwriting in general. That I don't know, it represents sort of a rebirth and a new approach to our songs. That since we've been kind of a little bit all over the place with our writing and where we wanted to sound, we felt like this was a little bit of a defining moment, at least for me personally, like that this is pretty much this is the Overthrone, like this is how we're going to be sounding basically from now on, at least for now, like that it was pretty much that approach and kind of what it means for me. So it felt very fitting, especially with that song. I think it's probably one of my favorite songs that we've released. That I don't know, it felt defining for me personally.
Yeah, I'd like to add, I think this EP is like almost a bridge between the sound that we're going for in the future and the sort of more old Overthrown sound, because this is the first part or the first music that we released that I myself and Love have been a part of, as part of the new lineup, and but a lot of the music was can be found in demos from even before we joined the band. So there's a lot of like old The Overthrown baked into this new sound that we're going for. So I think this EP has sort of sits like a nice bridge between the old and the new, and I think it's very special for that reason. It's it's a nice bridge between
the title
old and new.
track of the EP Reclamation, and even Bred to Exterminate, I feel hit with very different energies compared to the Cycles. What story or themes tie the EP together with these songs?
Well, lyrically, the sort of what I touched on in cycles, the sort of rise and fall of civilizations and humanity's ability to sort of collapse upon itself, I think, is a big part of it. Reclamation has a very religious tone to it lyrically, and Bred to Exterminate too, in a certain sense. Bred to Exterminate is a sort of warning in regards to quote unquote false prophets, like people who assume the position of leadership and get these blind followers who don't really question what they say. So
Are we talking about anyone in particular?
well,
Not at all.
I'll let the listeners figure that one out on their own. But sort of blind obedience and the dangers that they present, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And ascending is also has a very humanity as a collective theme to it. But it's more about, that's the one that's lyrically kind of different. It's more about death and humanity's, or we as people, we seem to be, even though we're the only species that are aware that we're going to die, we're sort of like apathetic to it, almost as like a coping mechanism, I think. And I think one who struggles with their own mortality, they have this sense of urgency to do things. And I think people as a collective maybe don't really have that. I think people tend to sort of distract themselves by the mundane and never really reach their full potential, unfortunately. And
Definitely seems as if it gets the listener to think about.
well, I would like them to. I always try to get the
thought-provoking.
listener.
Is that the word?
Yeah, exactly. I would like listeners to sort of, because I myself, when I listen to music, I almost go on straight to the lyrics and try to get a sense of what they're about or what the artist is trying to tell the listener. And sometimes I may be right, sometimes my own interpretations may be completely different from what the writer had in mind. But I always try to get the audience to at least think about it. And
I'm a riff man, to be honest with you. First thing I go for is a riff. If it's got a dirty,
I see
riff.
William just nodding in the background here. Yeah,
Me too. Lyrics are great. Like if the lyrics are good, like it's a huge bonus. But like cool lines and cool riffs, that's my go-to.
Exactly. There's a Gaelic metalcore band in Scotland singing complete Gaelic and not Gaelic, just not to confuse anybody. But I can't understand a single lyric because they sing in full different language.
Yeah.
But the riffs just sound sick. Do you
That's
know what I mean? That's all I need. I just need a riff.
Yeah. I'm the same. Like I couldn't care less what they're actually saying most of the time. Like
I mean,
this just undermines my whole speech. I'll just leave the call.
I'm not bad with. I mean, I like the lyrics. Lyrics is what comes after.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. Like if it's cool lyrics, great. That's fantastic.
But normally, when you're hearing a song for the first time, it's normally for me, it's that first, that riff. If it's got a dirty riff at the beginning, I'm hooked. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And then that's when I'll listen to it back a couple more times, and then the lyrics start hitting us. That's when it comes through for me.
Yeah. I've started to appreciate more like specific vocal lines are quite catchy and memorable. Like I think those are like my equivalent of listening to riffs, but for vocals. That I guess if I can find an example. But like chants in general, like I really like chants or like highlights of words that are repeating. I know there's is this Spared from the Guillotine from Silosis from the new album. In the chorus when he does this kind of.
I'm beginning to think you're a bit of a Silosis fan.
I don't know. I don't know where you would get that from. No, there's this vocal line that he does in the chorus, which like I still don't know exactly what he says. It sounds like cut down to sides or something. Who knows? I don't care. It sounds cool. It sounds so fucking cool. That's like my equivalent. That's what sticks out for me.
Nice. So, on this EP, what do you feel has been the biggest breakthrough or even your biggest challenge during the creation of this EP?
Well, for me, the challenge was going from like a sort of live vocalist, which I started off as for the band, and becoming a part of the songwriting process and the creative process. It's been a very rewarding and very, very fun challenge, but still a challenge nonetheless, because whenever you enter into a creative sort of effort, you're always kind of nervous, and I remember being very nervous, not only for writing, like when it came to the writing, but stepping into the booth and actually recording for the band for the first time when we released Bug Hunt, which was a standalone single, separate from the EP. But I was very, very nervous going in, and now that the EP is out and it's been out for just above a week, I've finally landed in and realized that I can actually be a part of this band when it comes to that side of things as well. So yeah, it's been a fun and challenging effort, but I'm very, very happy with how it turned out.
Anything yourself, William?
Well, I mean, since Gustav joined the band, it's been such a challenge. No, I'm joking. No, I'm
We are
joking.
witnessing the downfall of the Overthrone.
Yeah.
Keep on writing your fucking Elden Ring tracks, man. I'm out.
I will. I wish. No. It's been.
Thought that would have been the challenge. For you to be fair, like Gustav, can you stop with the Elden Ring lyrics? Sorry, William, go on.
No worries. I think like one of the main challenges for writing it was keeping the sound consistent and keeping the quality of songs consistent. To really have this almost like quality assurance approach to the songs, to like really, which is why we condensed it into an EP that we felt like, okay, but if we're not really, really happy with the songs, then we don't release it. Which like beforehand we may be like, oh, it's good enough, so we'll put it out. But having that rigid approach to what is good enough, while not being like complete perfectionists, I think was pretty much, at least for me, the hardest part, to recognize like, okay, no, but this is representative of the quality of standards that we want to put out, and then to just make sure that all the songs meet that requirement, I think was the main challenge.
So this could be a bit of a challenge for us with this next one then. So if someone could only hear one track from the Reclamation to understand where Overthrone are heading, which song would you choose and why?
Oh, I know the answer. For me, it's Reclamation.
It's Reclamation for you.
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, for both. Oh, wait, that was not as challenging as I thought.
I think there's a reason why we made it the title track, because I think it sort of ticks all the boxes for us creatively, and like how we are as a band. Like lyrically, for me, it's very sincere, and I think musically it sounds the most like how I picture the band sounding from now on, sort of. And just the riff that it starts with, I think William, you were the one who wrote that riff. It's just, you knocked it out of the fucking park, man. And I think
it's so simple. Like it's so nice to play live, because some of our riffs are just an absolute pain in the ass to play. So this it's just chords. It's just power chords. It's so easy, and there's no struggle at all. I can just focus on looking cool and headbanging, and like the drums are just carrying the groove. And I don't know, there's something about it that I just feel is um so resonating. I feel like it
Nice.
has. I don't know. It was so fun to write the solo for the song because the riff behind it. And I think my music theory in English isn't best. I think it's Phrygian dominant. It's called Spansk frigiskt in Swedish, which is like Spanish Phrygian, but I don't know if that's a thing in it. But having that approach and having it sound almost like uh, a little how should you call it? A little goofy in the background, like the riff together with like the solo was such a fun approach that I usually write very melodic kind of Avenged Sevenfold influenced epic solos, but this was just let's do it fast, let's make it sound a little bit almost like your typical Egyptian, like the Egyptian scale. It was really fun to write it. Um, which I think I'll be doing more of because that was a very fun way of writing
Sweet.
solos.
So could you run us through what does a typical Overthrown session or recording session look like? Is it structured? Is it a little bit chaotic or somewhere in between?
Depends on who you ask. If you ask Jonah, I don't think he'd have an answer for you because all he do is sleep. No, that I just totally threw him under the bus. He slept for one session. Sure. But
True story.
no, no.
But we all
Uh,
do. We all have tendencies of falling asleep during the
yes,
studio.
I think there's footage of all of us. Just I tend to fall asleep in the
Is that, is
car
that is that
during
really
our
why the
tours,
last
but
song's called Ascending?
yeah,
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 it
Or just
exactly.
should be called slumber, like on the party.
No, but uh, it's I don't know, a stereotypical recording session for the band, I'd say is sort of sporadic. I tend to not be there for the instrumental parts of the recording. I tend to just come in and do my thing vocally and have four guys sitting on a couch next to me judging every single thing I do.
That's because
So
you're not there during the instrumental recording.
yeah,
If you were there,
You gotta show them, you know.
yeah.
exactly.
So uh, yeah, I tend to not relish the studio sessions, to be honest, because I get so nervous. But we have a lot of
No,
fun as well.
that's understandable. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. So
I know.
for yourself then, William, that's probably more of a question for yourself then,
hmm
which is
Um,
what does a typical Overthrown recording session like? Is it structured, a bit chaotic?
no, I think it's pretty structured when we do record. But it depends on what instrument because we've recently been able to record guitars here at home and
Mhm.
just make it or at my place and we can just sit here, relax. We don't need to think about any like studio meter ticking or anything like that. So it's usually quite relaxed. Um, and but for like drums, which we can't really record at anybody's house because the neighbors would call the cops immediately.
Yeah.
We hire from our good friend David Åkerlund. Shout out. He was the one who mixed um, the EP as well. So there is it's pretty much like a full day. We go there. It's quite structured. We know what we want to do. For like the drums, then we usually like rig up the drums. We make sure that it sounds good, like as a bass line, and then we keep that set up. And then we just pretty much go from song to song and just take it bit by bit. If it's possible, we try to do as much of a long take as possible because we try to keep it quite authentic at that place. Like if we can have like like 2 minute long take and it still sounds consistent and tight, then we try to keep that. So as the sound
Mhm.
as
And
as
how hands-on were you with the production choices like tone, shape, and layer, and even atmosphere?
Pretty in touch, I'd say, for the actual foundation and baseline. But then obviously like the mixing and matching and like uh, the twisting of the knobs in I think it's Ableton that he uses. I'm not quite sure what software he used. Then mostly that is for our producer David, who was fixing. But we were very much in tune with the post production, and the overall sound was very much hands on. That we wanted it to sound very much like a blend. I honestly think it's, if you were to take the mix from Bloodmoon and from the Plague and kind of like combine it, I think that's pretty much the sound of the whole Reclamation EP, which I think was quite befitting.
I think that's
Oh,
also
go
a
on.
credit to David as a producer because he has such an eye for detail and he was able to really get what we would like tell him what we were trying to go for, and he would be able to do it down very, very accurately down to a T. And so the sound of the EP is our vision brought to life by David. So that's just a
Yeah,
credit to him as a producer, and he's been amazing to work with. Such a relaxed, patient guy who's just really, really, really fun and easy to work with. So shout
yeah.
out to David again.
And what's David's company called? Out of curiosity.
It's NVM Music, I think it's the official term.
Nice.
But it's uh, yeah, he's a great guy. I don't know if he has any social media, so I don't think I can plug him like that. But if you're out to hire him, trust me, it's a good idea. You can reach through us, and we'll guide you to him.
Nice. What a legend. Thank
He's
you very much for that.
he's great.
Did you approach the sorry, did the production approach shift for Reclamation compared to your earlier releases? It was the approach to a recording any different?
Oh yeah, definitely. We um we fell into a trap in Bloodmoon to um try to just kind of write the songs in the studio, like while we were recording, and just adding new parts and trying to um, kind of iterate them while we were working. And it just, like, in my opinion, it turned out that a lot of songs sounded completely different to each other, and they sounded kind of incomplete in some ways. But for this EP, we wanted to be as ready as possible for the studio. That like most of the things that are on the actual released song is pretty much how it sounded in the demo. So we try to just flesh it out, and then all like post productions and like boom effects and bass drops and like some like ethereal effects and stuff. That is usually stuff that we don't do in the demo, because that usually always changes with the sound and sounds different. But like the core foundation and the bass line for each song is pretty much like we had on the demo, which we wanted to have it like that.
And when you do write, and when you have written this EP, um, do you have a live environment in mind, or does that come later once the songs are finished?
Um, when you mean live, do you mean like how it's gonna
Like
sound live, or?
like yeah, so what do you when you're recording, do you go in for is the how, because like I say, you want to be able to play these songs in a live setting as well. So when you're
Yeah,
recording, do you put that, is that in your mind as well? How is this going to sound in a live setting as well when
yeah,
you're recording these songs?
for sure. We try to keep the guitar orchestra, that I like to sometimes call it, that you have like 5 different layers of guitars that are on at the same time. We try to keep that to a minimum. Um, that like most of the time is just riffs and guitars, and that kind of carries the whole song. And then because otherwise it's going to be super hard to replicate, and then we're going to have to rely on like backing tracks and samples and everything. We try to avoid that as much as possible. But whenever it fits the song, then of course, like we'll add different layers and make sure that it sounds full and complete. But we do try to keep it as earthly as possible, so that we're able to play it live. So we like to imagine that our songs are performed better live because than in the studio, because it sounds the same, just better with more energy, because you get to see the actual band.
Nice.
So that's pretty much our approach.
I think it's fun to like when as the songs were unfolding, and we got to listen to sort of the final products, going from like the rough tracks and everything, and then going to the full master of the songs, just listening as a frontman, going, oh, that's what I'm gonna do live during this part, and that's what I'm gonna do like those little things that just sort of appear in your mind when you hear the songs for the first time, and then getting to actually do it live later. It's such a fucking wow. It's just
Yeah, it's
I love that part of the
And
the whole
keep it
process.
on the live setting sort of thing. What do you want people to feel at an Overthrown show?
fun. That's
Yeah.
in my opinion, that's the most key component for our shows, which I think is what I mean, nobody would probably dare to say anyways, because it's rude to say, oh, you guys sound like shit live. But most of the people that have come up to us and said you seem to have so much fun on stage, and it kind of rubs off on the audience. So I think that's pretty much what we really try to go for. We
Could not agree more.
because I think like it's so essential. I like, it's not that I don't like cool bands. I think Shadow Intent is kind of an example where they are so good and they sound so cool and they look so freaking tough. I'm like Ben Doer, is that how you pronounce it? Ben Doer, I think, is the pronunciation. He looks so scary live. Like, he looks like he's gonna kill everybody in the audience, which is super cool. But I feel like we are pretty humoristic and down to earth, if non-humbly, I guess, in the band, that we don't take ourselves way too serious live. Like, we want to have a kind of light tone. We want to have fun. Like when I go to a show, I want to have fun. When I see a live band, like, of course I can appreciate the serious tone and it can sound very cool, but I want to party like when I'm there, and we try to bring that to our shows, I think.
Yeah, I think we have a great intensity to our shows, and the energy is there, like the tough energy or whatever you want to call it. But it's kind of hard to look tough when you're not that tough, you know? So we're kind of going for the fun approach. And that doesn't mean there's no like tough moments, you know, but having fun and sharing a great evening with the crowd is more important than trying to emulate the toughest bands out there.
Unless
not...
unless you're Meshuggah, because you can't even see Meshuggah because they use that much dry ice.
Yeah.
You don't even know if they're having a good time or not.
Yeah, exactly.
You cannot see them.
Those silhouettes sure look tough, though. You know?
Yeah, no,
definitely.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. But like, I think since we're not like a super theatrical band in the sense that we don't have any like costumes or a special, I wouldn't say gimmick, but like let's say a gimmick, like let's say Behemoth, or what's a Sleep Token, where they have like Slipknot, where they have like outfits and everything, that we try to, if we just look tough and act tough, like who's gonna remember us? So I think our unique approach is to have fun with the audience. I think
you hit the nail in the coffin earlier on when you said it, William, because when you're playing live, if the crowd doesn't see you having a good time, how are they going to have a good time?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but for yourselves, what's been the most memorable gig you've ever played?
Oh, that's easy for me.
Oh.
Yeah, for me too.
Yeah, I'd say Sweden Rock Festival. It's the biggest crowd by far that we played in front of, for starters. But just getting to be on quite a bit bigger stage in front of a bigger audience, in because we won Wacken Metal Battle in 2022 and got to play at Wacken, but there were if we were the first band out that day, there were issues with like the entrance, so not a lot of people had gotten into the area yet. And I think we
It was a
were
great
all
show, but it was
it was a good show, and we had a blast, and we'd love to come back to Wacken, please, Wacken. But getting to do
Come to
it,
Bloodstock first, though, guys. Come on.
yeah, for
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
man.
You've already done Wacken. Come to Bloodstock
Yeah.
in the UK.
yeah,
I fucking
I'd
love to,
love
man.
to. I'd love to.
But getting to do it in Sweden, in front of such a big crowd, and seeing the crowd have as much fun as we were having, going back to that,
Mhm.
was such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And that's definitely the most memorable.
Yeah, I think I was very struck by the audience, or a huge part of the audience actually knowing the songs was such a surreal experience that it felt like the whole imposter syndrome kind of bursted a little bit. That felt like, holy shit, these people actually know us and they actually want to be here. And there was one very sweet child who was in the front who had written on their phone, like, hey, please play the Plague for us, which we unfortunately didn't because we didn't have
Oh,
time to.
boo! You
Yeah,
crushed that
I
child's
know. We
dream.
crushed the poor child's dream, but we had such like a tight set list because we didn't want to piss off Sweden Rock at all. So we felt like it's a little bit
enough.
too last minute. We might go over and then they might like plug us out or whatever. So we felt like we're gonna have to crush this poor child's dreams, but it was necessary. But just to have that experience was quite surreal, honestly, to see the crowd reacting to the songs in that way and seeing them like we usually do this a little bit of
Hopefully
shenanigans.
that child wasn't too pissed off and hasn't gone to social media.
Yeah.
It was so fun to walk around the festival area later as well. People coming up to you the next day going, "Hey, great show yesterday," and
Yeah.
that was sort of surreal. One guy, I was in the mosh pit at during Pantera's set at Sweden Rock, and some drunk guy just grabbed me in the mosh pit. "I saw you guys yesterday. You were fucking awesome." And then he threw me aside, and then we started moshing. It was fucking great. Funny thing is, fast forward to like 5-10 minutes later, he came up to me again, and he was like, "You're the singer for Vended, right?" I was like, "No," because Vended had played. I was like, "No, I'm not Griffin Taylor. Sorry, man. I'm the singer for the Overthrone." He was, "Yeah, that was the name," and then he remembered it. So just going, I don't think I look like Griffin Taylor that much, but you know,
He's probably just. I mean, I don't know. What you like? You got long hair? What you like with your hair down?
well, I did back then. I've cut it since, but you know, it's still headbangable, you know.
Just dye it blonde. Take the glasses off.
Yeah, exactly.
So with the Reclamation out, what is actually next for the band? Are we doing some more tours? Any gigs? Any videos to come along with any future releases?
We are playing a festival in Västerås in Sweden called Bulgasol Metal Fest. So that's the next show that is booked, which is in July. So if you want to see us live here in Sweden, that's where you'll see us next. We have some things down the line that's not officially booked, but you know, things we're planning to have some more shows in the fall. Is probably what we're going for. Now we're focusing a lot on writing new stuff for what is intended to be a full lengther at the moment. So that's what we're going for. And the goal is always to play more shows and get more music out there. And so that's what we're trying to do. So in 2027, hopefully we'll have a full record out.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Any dream festivals that you would, or even any countries that you would like to visit with the band?
You said it yourself. Bloodstock would be great. Britain overall would be fucking terrific. I'd love to go there. I hear there's this festival called Get Heavy Festival. That's
Never heard of it.
supposed to
Never,
be a
never,
banger.
never, never heard of it.
Who knows, man?
Never. That's I've no idea what you're talking about.
Shameless self-plugging here, but we'd love to play in the UK, and
It's a country we've never been. I mean, I think we probably all have visited there just as people or like private person. But
are you a person though? No. Okay.
No, but as a band, we've never been there. Like we've gone through a bunch of countries in Europe, but we've never quite reached the UK. We've never had our in. So I think Bloodstock would be really fun, or like almost dreamlike in that sense. Like since we have played in Wacken, but I mean,
Wacken and Bloodstock are affiliates. So Vicky Hungerford, if you ever watch this back, I book the lads, man. Book them for Bloodstock, Vicky.
Please, Vicky.
Let's do it.
We would like to. I would like to see us in a live set.
That would be great.
We'd love to.
And we're pretty sweet. And if not, then 2027, I'll just have to book yourselves for Heavy Fest.
Sounds great.
Oh yeah, man.
Otherwise, other than that, like I have roots in Brazil. Like my mom is Brazilian, so I would love sometime to go, or if the possibility would arise, to play in Rock in Rio. That would be that would be sick.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool.
I saw you interview. Speaking of Brazil, I saw you interview Max Cavalera, man. That was fucking. I'd love to talk to Max sometime. He's one of my favorite frontmen of all time.
To speak to Max, he was an absolute gent, and I think, to be fair, I mean, I was too starstruck half of the time listening to him. It was sometimes it was just I'm fucking talking. He's talking, and I'm just going. I'm talking to Max Payne. I'm talking to Max Payne. I'm talking to Max Cavalera. Fucking hell! Where did Max Payne come from? Fuck.
Those are good games.
William for talking about games earlier. But yeah, it's just half the time it was just I'm talking to Max Cavalera. I was like, what the and then he was like, it's about to get heavy as well. I was like, oh my god, thank you, Max. Yeah. I think I climaxed.
He seems like such a good guy, and
he is.
The impact he has had on metal. Like
shout out to his wife, because his wife set that up as well. Cause
really?
His wife was his manager, so just look, I'm gonna give it a shot. Drop out an email, see what happens. And set it all up for us straight away, and I was that's buzzing. So yeah, I was proper happy with that.
So cool, man.
So before we end, are you up for a little bit of a challenge?
For sure.
Always.
So
hit me, man.
I've tried to be as clear as I possibly can throughout this interview, and as we touched on briefly, that I'm from Newcastle upon Tyne here in England. And we've got quite a distinct accent, a very strong accent, and a lot of people think we talk too fast, blah blah blah. But I'm going to give you 5 Newcastle Geordie phrases, and you have to try and guess what they would mean in standard English.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
All right,
let's do it. I'm ready.
Are you up for it?
I'm gonna show my hands, so I'm not gonna Google anything. Also,
I like it.
I'm stepping back.
So I've got. He's ready. First one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you need it used in a sentence as well, I will use it in a sentence.
Okay.
So the first one is purely belter.
Purely belter.
Belter. Yeah.
Purely belter. Can you use it in a sentence?
No. I want to guess.
I want to guess.
It was blast, sort of.
Yep, I'll give you that. Really good. There we go.
Good shit.
So, 1 for 1 so far.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm gan yem.
Gan yem.
I'm gan yem.
Is it gan and yem, or is
it's 3 separate 3 separate words. So it's am gannen jem.
I'm gonna I'm pissed drunk.
Not quite.
I'm on my way.
You're close.
Mm. I'm
So-
hurrying up.
No.
Okay.
So like so.
Who was
So
close? The
so
drunk or on
after-
the way?
No, it was the Gustav was quite close. But I would say so. Once the Overthrone have finished playing, I'm gannen jem.
I'm leaving.
But where you leaving to?
I'm going home.
There we go.
Ah.
I'm going home.
I was gonna say going to the pub or going to the bar.
No,
That's usually the case.
I mean, for us, normally it is. Huh?
Yeah.
But no, I'm gannen jem after the Overthrone.
Right.
So number 3, I'm clamming for me bait.
I'm hungry.
Oh, bang on, mate.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Thanks.
Clamming for me bait. Nice one, hey. Dean,
Yeah,
you
that's-
got
I'm
yellow.
fucking good at this.
Are you sure? Where's those hands? Are you sure you're not Googling this? Recording devices or anything?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got-
AI.
AI is listening.
ChatGPT is on like the recording.
He was gone proper Raj is your next one.
He's getting angry.
Ooh, mate. Hey, spot on.
Is it?
Hey.
Shit. Look
So I
at
was going to say if he struggled with it, but he was gone proper Raj during the Overthrown. So it could have been he's gone proper nuts, crazy, angry,
Oh,
in the
okay,
mosh
okay.
pit. In the
Oh,
mosh
right.
pit,
So more like wild kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's gone really proper Raj.
Right. Cool.
I have to say this before it's not what you think it is.
All
'Cause
right.
a lot of people have got dirty minds, right? I'm looking at you, internet, right? Too much dirty minds.
Okay, I gotta show my hands for this one.
Gizzard deeks.
What was that?
Gizzard deeks. So I can see the grins, but it's not what you think it is.
Deeks.
Gizzard deeks.
I don't care. Like I don't give a fuck.
Ooh, no.
Okay, could you put it in a sentence?
Oh, you're right. So I'll probably have to set the tone for you. So William will bring out a new guitar, for example. It's in its case, and you'll Gustav, I've got a new guitar. Gizzard deeks. Well, for your response, Gustav, would be Gizzard deeks.
Oh, my response would be Gizzard Deeks.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking A, like, sort of like, that's what's up.
So he slaps
Oh,
it on the table.
good for you.
Gizzard
I don't
deeks
know.
and Will. Oh well, Will Gizzard deeks.
All right, I don't know.
No, can I have a look?
Oh.
Of
Gizzard
course.
deeks?
All right.
Right.
3
Or-
for 5. Hey, it's not
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Feels pretty
pretty
good.
good, yeah.
Pretty decent.
Thank you so much for your
No-
time, guys. I appreciate
you.
it. Anyone who is watching back, go and check out the Overthrown with their latest EP, Reclamation. It is an absolute banger for sure. And I'll leave you with the Get Heavy Creed, which is the rules of the pit and the rules for life. Someone falls.
Thank you so much.